Hello, dear students. I'm teacher Rafal Ajarme from Taqarub International School. This is a reading comprehension video for 8th grade students. To the Max, Unit 5, See Word. Please open your book, page 56. Look at the pictures here, from A to E. What's this? Excellent, this is a beach. What about B? These are fish. C, it is a whale. D, excellent. This is a sea turtle. And finally, this is a dolphin. So, SeaWorld is full of sea creatures, right? But today's lesson is about dolphins in particular. Please move on to page 58. We're gonna read and explain the text. Dolphins in math. The sense of kinship between humans and dolphins goes back thousands of years. Citizens of ancient Crete honored dolphins as gods, while the Greeks kept a social sanctuary for what they considered to be the dolphin god. The Maori of the South Pacific regarded dolphins as messengers. These and other early cultures celebrated the divine features they saw in dolphins. So this is the first paragraph. It talks about how different citizens or cultures considered dolphins. Some of them considered them as gods. The other considered them as messengers, gods and messengers. Dolphins are no longer elevated to the status of gods. No longer elevated to the status of gods means not equal or not high as the status of gods. But to many people, they are the humans of the sea. So dolphins equals the humans. How do dolphins and the humans are the same or look like? When they are both wise, shrewd, and very intelligent. Shrewd means keen or clever, okay? Or able to make good decisions because you understand the situation well. It is an adjective. Intelligent means very clever. Some aquariums and marine parks contribute to this view by prompting their dolphins as personalities. Films, television, and science fiction novels do the same things. So all of these, some aquarism, marine parks, films, television, science fiction, novels do the same things, which means that they are look at humans as dolphins or look at dolphins as humans. To feed our appetite for this connection, stories about breakthrough in dolphin communication have often been exaggerated by the media. So, this is an excessive wave by the media. To be fair, more than one scientist has reported as communication a dolphin's mimicking of some English phrases, something a parrot can do. So, as more than one scientist reported that a dolphin is look like a parrot. In which way? In mimicking, um, or saying some English phrases. But despite continuing efforts, researchers have been unable to have conversation with dolphins or to determine whether they do indeed have their own spoken language. So, researchers have been unable to have conversation or to know their language of communication. Although some interspecies communication does exist, it is more related to what occurs between you and the family dog than to the exchange you would have with your friends. So every human being, every creature in this world have or has its own way of communication. Let's move to the next paragraph. Are dolphins super intelligent? This is a question, and we are looking for the answer right now. The brains of dolphins vary, very mean different in size from one species to another, but all are fairly large, so they have large brains. Yet brain size reveals little about the nature or extent of intelligence. So it just reveals little about the nature of extent of intelligence. Let's move on. What do dolphins use their brains for? This is another question, and we need to find an answer. Some researchers have suggested that big brains may be needed for sonar and sound processing. Sonar means a method in which underwater objects are dedicated using transmitted and reflected sound waves and sound processing or for the demands of social living. So they suggested that big brains may be needed for sonar and sound processing or for the demands of social living. Why? To show the level of intelligence in dolphins. But these explanations have been called into question. This means cast doubts or raised concerns about. Others have argued that a dolphin's levels of intelligence somewhere between that of a dog and a chimpanzee. So he is between a dog and chimpanzee. The answer is we don't know, and it may be unfair to make comparisons. Just as a human intelligence suits human needs, dolphin intelligence is perfect for the dolphin's way of life. So the amount or the level of intelligence depends on the way of life. How do you live your life? So they adopt their nature of living in the way they are think of, and this is related to the intelligence. Until we know more, we can say only that it is different. What do uh, Let's move on to the next question. What do we know about dolphins? Dolphin research, which is just a few decades old, has caused much excitement. Some behavior studies have helped verify certain ancient accounts. Although Aristotle recorded that fishermen in the eastern Mediterranean Sea could identify dolphins by the necks in their fins. So, Aristotle indicates or recorded that the eastern Mediterranean Sea fishermen can identify dolphins by the necks. Necks means a small cut in something. And what is fins? It is part of the fish's body. So they are cutting this fins. Generation of humans, including scientists, dismissed it as fable. Fable means a legend or a made-up story, fake story. But Aristotle, who was the first to recognize the dolphins were air-breathing mammals and not fish. So dolphins, Aristotle uh, told us that or recognized that he was the first to recognize that dolphins were mammals and not fish. Seemed to have known what he was talking about. So, who was the first one to recognize that dolphins were air breathing mammals and not fish? Great job. He is Aristotle. Aristotle. Let's move on to the next page. Sorry, next paragraph. The same is true of the 19th century Australian whalers at Twofold Bay. Whalers came to know individual orcas by name. The orcas is a killer whale, so it is a special species of whale, and it is killer. Hunting in packs, the orcas would help the whalers by chasing a humpback whale, then grabbing its flippers while the whalers made the kill. As the big humpback was towed to shore, tow means pushed or dragging, okay? To shore, the orcas fond of eating large whales took only the lips. He's only eat lips and tongue, lips and tongue, leaving the rest of the carcass for the whalers to render. Renders mean deliver or take it for oil. This close and mutually beneficial association between humans and orcas lasted for several decades until 1980s. So this is a relationship, or this is a mutually a beneficial association between humans and orcas. How? What describe this mutual beneficial association? It is that the whalers help the orcas to tow the humpback to the shore, eating its lips and tongue, and leaving the rest of carcass for the whalers to render the oil. So this is a mutual. Uh, when it lasts for 1920s. Today, research into life among wild dolphins reveals that they are curious and apparently sociable. So they have a sense of sociability and curiosity. How? Let's read. They sometimes even allow people to touch them and swim with them. Touch and swim with them. These are sociable characteristics of dolphins. Ancient Roman stories about boys riding on dolphins are likely to be true. So in the past, during ancient Romans, they are used to riding on dolphins rather than riding on horses. In recent years, children as well as adults have ridden dolphins along the shores of the United States, Ireland, France, Spain, Yugoslavia, Australia, and Great Britain. So, in the past and nowadays, people used to riding on dolphins. Dolphins have also been known to support drowning swimmers, so they are helpful and sociable and nudge them to shore. Nudge means dragging them to the shore. However, there are several documented cases of dolphins pushing people away from safety and putting them or holding them underwater. No white dolphins known to have killed a person. So, uh, till nowadays, there's no white dolphins known to have killed a person. Yet dolphins are strong. They are strong. They are independent animals that must be respected at all times. Rather than striving to give these fascinating, sociable mammals a human status or confining them to the realm of the divine, we should appreciate that the ways of dolphins are uniquely their own. So everyone in this world is unique in his way, in his way of living, in his characteristic, and his features. Stop make comparisons between any two objects of the world or two persons. Comparisons always kills happiness. So you are unique, you are different. So try to improve these features. To not to watch others and try to imitate that. No, make your own personality and make your own um, unique way of life of living. That's it. That's it. That's all for today. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me. Feel free to ask me any question. Okay? Do not hesitate. Thank you for listening. Goodbye and good luck.